Patricia, 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 Patricia. Este es el micrófono de... Sí, para que... A que siente todo el día la cabina. Vamos a multiplicar dos con la cabina y que salga el audio que tiene el inglés. You could put your seat back. So you are going to can you take your seat back and we will ready to four. I see some people went to take the coffee. Right. So now it's time for restitution. It's okay.
You need.
Maybe you want to thank Pierre and talk about Bruce and now or after?
Yeah.
Now you want to do it now?
Yeah.
Oui, là, je fais 4h30.
Voilà, c'est ça.
Et après, ça change. Oui, 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 oui.
Friends, please be settled. We should start. Please. Settle with the team.
You could sit down. And we're going. We will have the break at 4:30 around. So before we would like to have the restitution for each group. So who wants to begin?
Discussion after the restitution. Just one way.
What? What?
Some small discussion after the yeah.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Okay.
We have to start reporting what a group has discussed, and we allocated 5 minutes for each group, and I hope you have already selected volunteer to speak and report whatever you have discussed. So might be we start with, we have not given group, but it is a group where I could see more women and quite a few men were there. So might be we start from that very group. Dr. Renu.
Yes, feminist.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, in our group, we were around 10 people. And the kind of general feeling is it is wonderful. Yeah, I know. It was wonderful forum. And the best thing was youth were mobilized, a lot of women were there. And networking spaces were there, and it was like very welcoming. And then mobilization of volunteers were also excellent. So overall, it was very, very good forum. And then another thing like the area, kind of a lot of, especially trade union, peasants, women and youth, it was very amazing thing in this forum. And it was, we could see the diversity, and the kind of everyone praises that rally was very, very strong and then very nice. And art and then other activities were very good. So another area to improve or what would have been better is one thing. It was felt like, okay, it was although it's in Asia, there was not many from the Southeast Asia, kind of. So it was felt like, because Burma issue was not that much discussed. Burma also going through a lot of difficult times, so it was not that much of a difficult discussed. And second thing, like, okay, Latin Americans were also few, but Wi-Fi was good, and so kind of somehow we could connect, and then we could make sure that, okay, we are connected. So people really like this podcast was also good. But on the areas to improve is translation, interpretation needs to be improved a little bit. Podcast idea was very good, but the interpretation needs to be improved. And another, like, it was another thing which we felt that, okay, needs to improve is there are a lot of activities where a lot of talking were taking place. So kind of for future, it's very important to come out with the actions, like mural, painting, or something very kind of together activities rather than only talking. So yeah, it was this also came out very strongly. And another thing, like, okay, one thing, like, if for World Social Forum, what needs to be for future, what needs to be taken care. There were a lot of activities, a lot of women's participation. But there was no feminist discussion, kind of women were participating, but the discussions were not political in other sessions, So it's very important that, okay, sessions needs to be feminized or made gender sensitive, right? And then another, like, okay, what we felt in our group is kind of needs to be improved is, yes, like, how to take one thing, like this. People in our group, we felt it was very good square up statement, especially it was very good for people to socialize, to meet and all. But there was somehow, what to take from here, kind of that was missing. So how to create that kind of momentum, like, okay, what can be taken from here, then at least one by boycott something or do something, so that kind of thing were missing. And then another thing, like, okay, what felt like organization, the national organizing from anywhere needs to filter the activities, because one of our participants felt that she was in a forum and then a lot pro-government things were being discussed, So like, okay, need to filter activities as well. So we need to be very sure that, okay, our activities are politically correct. And yeah, I think these were the things. Yeah, another thing which is very beautiful thing which people like that, okay, a lot of kind of volunteerism, kind of, although there were no interpreters, but from Nepali English, people from the room, they came and then they volunteered that, okay, we want to volunteer. So this kind of volunteerism spirit and an all open space. Another thing, it was felt like, okay, it was very good that it was in an open space. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. I hope I captured. Okay. Thank you very much, Renu.
I can come later.
Can come later.
And please remember to register your name also in the participants list. Thank you.
Hello again. In our group, there were around 11. My colleague Karminda, Ian, Mangal, Sushil, Francisco, I myself, Aman, Siti, Pierre, and Bidur. So the discussions, some of the discussions were overarching around the overall philosophy and methodology and all those kind of things. And some of the reflections are all particularly on the event itself. So I'll particularly discuss on some of the random kind of, reflections from our group. So first of all, WSF offers people. So we feel that WSF offers a movement for the trade union CSOs as an open space. We really feel that. And particularly, we could have discussed on various critical topics. And they also could have utilized that. It's not only a literal kind of thing. And another thing is that some people feel that even the discussion may be focused particularly on the Asian and South Asian kind of, contemporary issues. We also said that it gives a space to youth to get ready for the even global policy discourse. We also discussed that this social forum came out in an unique way as an international effect, not as a brand. And it has an unique setup that helps grassroots to connect with the international processes and movements. Some also you obviously discussed that it is a successful event and demonstrated the various movements and people from different fractions and different opinions they could have come together. We also discussed that this is a fresh start, and though it is said that even in most of the countries when the social forum is held, though the local committee do not have the previous experience of holding this kind of event, despite that this is a success. And also the previous Asia Pacific social forum process also contributed a lot, but their input is further respected. And they also need to come up that after this Nepal forum, what will be the follow through in the Asia Pacific at the Asia Pacific level and beyond. The SKR of statement is the new form of innovation. I think people can also shed light on that. And this is also a kind of an experiment, as social forum always try to provide an open space for innovation and experiments. We also discussed that Nepali people feel proud and they also learned from the other global movements, and marginalized people were also found optimistic as they found some space in the social forum. It is also discussed that the youngsters also, this another world is possible, this motto, it provoked their mindset that, okay, what is the real another world means? Event wise, some of the extent is that it was a good from, and it's a kind of renewal. We also discussed that, and the social forum also gain from this as a kind of, it creates a momentum. We also talked about the IC, that we also need to facilitate and reform that. Some of us, we also felt that this is the best WSF in comparison to few others in the next near past. And young people also got inspiration from this. We also need a systematic process to capture the outcome of the discussion. So that is also discussed in our group. It is also discussed that WSF Nepal was held with a very limited resources. That is also kind of a unique feature. So we also need to celebrate at that. And it was not chaotic. It was organized in a disciplined way. So that's also kind of success. The location was very much strategic. It was a compact that bring together many people, because we also discussed that even in many other social forum, we choose the universities which are dispersed, but the location was very good, compact, and another thing is that even most of the tents and rooms were there are lots of people. However, in many other social forum, we saw that many of the tents are vacant. So that's also kind of in a good area, improvement area. So it is also, people feel that even certain issues couldn't be discussed over here because of its unique character as well. And obviously the old debate that it couldn't come up with some positions. So we also discussed that we need to work further on the methodology of WSF and to further connect with the various issues and processes across the globe. We talked about the national process, regional processes, and how this could be connected with the next WSF. So local WSF and assemblies need to be could be a stepping stone. Some of us suggested. We also discussed that even there are police inside the campus, but they could be or should be kept outside the campus. We need to have a site map, supposed to have, or so that people can get a kind of a good picture of that, what is happening where. Though young people are there, but people also discussed that the intergenerational link need to be there. It is a suggestion for the next social forum. We also discussed that there are too many panels. We should encourage more space for conversation among the people, rather a more one-way kind of panel discussion. So some of the lowlights, it's a classical problem of all social forum, that low presence in the mainstream and alternative media. Even the social media is also kind of, we couldn't capitalize that much. But Nepal Social Forum, the website, even Facebook, at least they came up with something better than the other social forums. So it's also a good sign. So we can capitalize on that. And we also discussed that in the mainstream area, the youth-led innovations mostly is backed by the MNCs, IFIs, those kind of agencies. Why not World Social Forum Acts? This is a space we should further invest on youth-led innovative actions in the World Social Forum. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we go for the next, I have one logistic concern. This meeting will continue until 9. That is what I have been told. And we have to order dinner at around 6 or 6:30. So how many of us are willing to join for dinner? That is major logistic concern. Those who are willing only can raise the hand. Yeah.
Everybody, no? We go on.
There are some hands which are not being raised. Are they not willing to join? Okay, I just 1, 5, 6. Oh. Not all. Might be 50 is enough. Though, yeah, okay. Those who are not going to join dinner, please raise the hand. Okay. Thank you. I have a rough calculation now. I'll do accordingly. And we have to, just a second, we have to recognize the absence of IC friends and others, officials, for example, Chico, Gustavo, Musaha, etc. And that has already been recognized by him. This square of his statement was excellent event. And we have to thank at least Pere because he tried to come up with some of the new ideas also. So we should thank him as well. Then might be close yours, sir.
So who's next now?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, good. Ah, see.
we have to go there.
Yes. ¿Le puedo llevar por aquí?
Okay. I hope it will work like this. First of all, I would like to let's do it like this. First of all, we would like to send our greetings as Mashriq Maghreb Forum for all the work that we saw on the ground in Nepal. We would like to thank all the committee, all the group who are working, all the volunteers, everybody on the work that we see clearly. It's a big work. It's something taking us to another step that we need to catch on it and move on it as I see to decide many things to go forward for really a new world is possible and it's necessary as we all talk about. For us, many difficulties we faced to reach here as a Palestinian, even on the visa issue or even of the movement. And in the same time, there is our colleague from Gaza that they couldn't participate with us in this forum. And one of them is IC member representing Bingo, the steering committee of Bingo, Saeed Ziadeh, who's now in Rafah. After 4 months, he's still on the ground working with the other Bingo member, with the other association, with the other organization and the social movement on the ground to support our people in Gaza in all this miserable with genocide and the attack that it's daily until now. It's very clear what's going on in Palestine. And for us, when we talk in those days and everywhere, what we see in the spirit of all the movements is the solidarity for Palestine. We see the flag of Palestine everywhere. We see the mention of the word of Palestine everywhere. And from there, we understand, because the thing that's happening now in Gaza, it has to take us for another step, because the world itself, not only Gaza, something different. Because now we need to understand that before Gaza, it's not the same after Gaza. And it is clear for everybody. And when we were talking about certain meetings, we were mentioning the system itself. It's the colonization mentality that it's been taking us to make a genocide in Gaza. And this is clear. The participation of the United States and other countries from Europe, that they give the cover for the Israelis to be part of the genocide. They are not only giving something or just military or anything. No, they are participating in this. When we are talking about Gaza and what's happening in Gaza, everybody after the 7th of October, clearly we have many positions. And we couldn't understand some positions, and I speak about it before, from human rights organization, from movement, from leftists, that they took us for another step, that we need to fight with them to give them the clear position that they need to take it and to carry it with them. In the same time, we couldn't understand that this discussion is taking us from 7th of October, and we forgot the Nakba from 1948. And as we are talking about Palestine, it just began on the 7th of October. And those Palestinians, and the message that Netanyahu is taking it and carrying it to all the world, everybody is speaking of the voice of Netanyahu. And he said those Palestinians are terrorists, and he wants to connect our resistance and the right for us to resist and the occupation with all kinds of resistance. He wants to take it for Daesh and to put us in these steps. And this will not happen because the Palestinians are united. You need to understand that Hamas is being elected in the election in Palestine, and they are part of the Palestinian committee. They are part of the Palestinian organizations and the resistance. And anything happen, we were looking forward for peace long time ago, let's say. But now we can't accept talking about peace, and our people are being killed each day on the ground. Who want a solution? He's supposed to speak about the solution from 35 years when we start Oslo, for example. Or let's speak about other initiatives that happen. And for this, we need to go and another step from here for Palestine, because we believe what's going on in Palestine, it will affect all of you. It will affect all of you. And this genocide, it could be in other countries, and it could be in other places if we all not united for this. And from there, and from here, from Nepal, we raised the voice with this slogan: our future is Palestinian. Because on this level, our future is Palestinian, because it's connected on everything, on social, economic, cultural, human rights, everything. Everything. All of you are fighter for human rights. All of you are working for the movement. But in the same time, all of you see the collapse and the falling of all the means of human rights when nobody's moving. You are moving in the street, but your governments, they don't look for us, for you, for everybody. So really, we need to go another step. For the last thing, from our delegation, the Mashriq Maghreb delegation, we were around 80 to 90 participants, girls, family, and women. And we were representing Morocco, Tunis, Egypt, Lebanon, Palestine, Jordan, Libya. And it's very important for us that we are carrying this message to the Nepalese committee, to the IC members, that really all of us, we see the succeed of this forum. And from us also the same, we would like to thank the IC members for all the work that they did in the past months. We would like also to thank as the IC members and to thank the people who are support also by funding the delegation, that Palestinian delegation that to be here from Creed, Attack, the Moroccan, Tunisian, the Canadian. And really, we will go on because we feel that this space, we could build it together. And our struggle, it's a common struggle. And our resistance, it's not only for us. We are not fighting just for the Palestinian and the right for Palestinian. We are fighting for the dignity for all the people, for all the believers of human rights and the future and the justice. Thank you very much. Sorry, the last thing. The last initiative that I want to, I forgot it, that as Mashreq Maghreb Social Forum, we have an initiative, we will speak about it later, that we will have a forum on Palestine in middle of May in Tunis. And more details will be coming soon. And our future is Palestinian. Thank you very much.
Just I would like to add after Palestine, because of we are having global discussion how we can start global solidarity from Nepal, and there was a suggestion to do a program on 15 May when Israel did the occupation against Palestine. So on behalf of the group, I would like to invite everybody to come in the group to have a discussion how we can go forward global solidarity from Nepal.
Thank you. Before I enter another group, Mile has to leave the forum because she has to put together good ideas. And she has an appeal for the support of Haiti. So might be pro for Mile.
Oh, es que el celular necesita estar. Thank you. Oh, I have to like that, Okay. Okay. Mireille from France Fanon Foundation and like that. Yes. Like that. Mireille from France Fanon Foundation, and I work with Asian people and Caribbean people, and unfortunately there is no one person from Caribbean except me. And that is why I would draw your attention to the situation in Haiti. I don't know if you know what is happening. There is a violence, sure, but there is something more violence, and it would be the second, excuse me. It would be the next genocide committed by Kenyan state, supporting the decision of the core group US and UN to try to stop the gang violence. And it is why it is really important, because this dramatic situation for Asian people is resulting from a generalized chaos fabricated and maintained by US imperialists, and also we can say French as a model of the US, in alliance with the Asian extreme right wing that has monopolized power with the support of the imperialist powers since 2011. The Asian people who, through their heroic history, have made, don't forget, it was the first Black Republic, and it was the first peoples who were freed from enslavement, have made essential contribution. Excuse me, I have to read it. Yes, thank you. Have made essential contribution to the construction of strategy for the emancipation of the peoples. Deserve today our solidarity of all the people of the world who are fighting for freedom, sovereignty, and self-determination. It is what we are doing here. And to miss the information, this information regarding Haiti is something we can avoid, we can permit. It is our responsibility to be beside Haitian people. The solution of the current problem is not through a new intervention of foreign forces controlled by the United States and coordinated by the Kenyan government and the UN at the demand of the UN. The real solution lies is respecting the will of the Haitian people as expressed, for example, in the Montana Agreement, and you can find Montana Agreements, the content on their website, which allow to try the path towards a transition of rupture that will allow to free the country from the politics of the IMF and the World Bank and the domination of US imperialism that seeks to organize a plunder of the country's resource. We have to be united with and beside of Haitian resistance and Haitian people for a shift of a racial paradigm of domination linked to capitalist liberal system. As a Palestinian is our future, the future of Haiti is also our future. I ask to the IEC to make a worldwide appeal for support that declaration. Thank you. It's an appeal to the IEC to have a real declaration supporting Asian people.
Yeah.
You want some of those?
Hi everyone. So our group has 14 participants and we're from Italy, France, Tunisia, Senegal, India, and Nepal. Please aid if I missed any. In Mali, yeah. Mali and Finland. Thank you. First comment was that all agreed that in the meeting discussion that the World Social Forum event, the forum was positive at the end, and Asia was the right place to conduct the World Social Forum. Since some other states they have difficult to visit, and the World Social Forum process should be always open, and every country has their own groups and movements and interchange of ideas are not allowed in every state, so it is a good place. And there was some comment on the secretariat of the of this World Social Forum because the NGO Federation Nepal led it. So some commented that it is a more NGO matter rather than social matter, but that was only just rumors. And the NOC team of Nepal, it has been actively participated in this forum because last year there was a coordination meeting with the last NOC meeting, so it was activated from the last time. And this movement need much more of democratic decision, even on the NOC team for much more better program. Some organizations were conducted, some events were conducted in well-facilitated halls of National Assembly and Nepal Tourism Board, while others were in the tents. And there was some criticism on the communication because communication outside the Nepal, they were very limited and international participation were quite low. Similarly, this forum was a major major play space to exchange common ideas because we all share the common space. So it proves that the humanity exists and all together are the same. But there were also some problems on finding the rooms. And there should be a map so that it will be easy. And a major comment was the translations because translations were very limited, and the technical aspects could be better developed to not to have the language difficulty. And there were many self-organized events. So the self-organized limits only on the information sharing among the few participants. And if there were all together the big events, the big forums, at that time all participants could have a good sharing, and the time could be also managed, and all the participants could have joined those interesting and important forums. And the forum has a good concept. The World School Forum 2024 has a good concept on the square statements. So it was new thing on the convergence in our group. It appreciated it. So because every panelist and then every assembly and forums, they could not be at a place at a together, but the square of statements it gave a place, and then this conference is very this conference cannot be planned, controlled, and forced. There were some weakness like the friend networks in Asia and Europe. Due to that, there were some less participants, like the activists from the Russia and Tibet. Even they were not there. Uh, so. um, uh, And also there was there the solution is that the increase in more young people for the participation in the forum, and there should be more time for the strategic exchange, and the methodological innovation should be increased, and the use of new communication tools that should be also increased there. And again, square of statement observation, it was a physical open page. So the outputs of the statement should be analyzed, and then there were some missing professions organizations like National Teachers Association, Professor Association, like nursing associations, like they have they have the thing of another health world. So such things should be also included. And another comment was on the hybrid mode because the online and the hybrid mode was not so good. So there were many miscommunication, misinterpretation on that. And other thing was on the volunteers. Though there were many volunteers, the volunteers were not well trained for the translation. And there were some changes in the program in the last moment. So changing of the programs in the last moment was not a good decision in such a big forum. So all activities should be planned earlier. I think I have mentioned all the activities I have noted from our group. If you miss, yeah, we can take up. Okay, thank you then.
Sorry.
You have to hold it.
Yes, okay. So we have the last group. I go to you. Okay.
Thank you.
Before I start, I would like to request the members of our group to just stand up. We had 12 people from 8 different countries: Tunisia, Thailand, Philippines. Could you just stand up so that they recognize? Tunisia, Thailand, Philippines, Nepal, Bangladesh, India, Palestine, and Sweden. So World Social Forum was a great movement building, from which many were inspired and have become more committed because it offered an inclusive platform, be it for Dalits, gender, or people who are differently abled, and otherwise excluded groups, including the home-based workers. To me personally, the Statesman Square was exciting yesterday, where you could interact with many unknown people and talk about your area of work. So overall, I'm not going to repeat most of the challenges because it was covered by the earlier group. So it was a job well done and much better than other World Social Forums, some of our members said. And trade union from Nepal have also, they're also going to start lobbying for decent work. And there were many sessions of climate change, which was exciting. To be exact, there were 43. So that also brings me to another perspective that there were 500 side events to choose from. So which was quite, overwhelming. So we didn't know which one to go to. But the intergenerational equality that we harp about was very much there. When we look at the volunteers, all the young volunteers were there. Yes, we do agree they maybe needed a better orientation, but they were there. They showed their commitment. And the other observation is that Global North and Global South should have had more time to come together and exchange ideas and all. The other observation that needed more attention maybe next time is international mobilization could have been better. There should be more clarity on capitalist versus socialist donors. It also looked like, it sounds like I'm repeating, but some NGOs were implementing their projects on ground, and we do all wish there was unlimited resources, but we understand there were limitations, and many things could have been better. But nevertheless, we learn from this World Social Forum and take it to the next one, where we are going to be all diverse for sure, but yet united. And the last but not the least, there was one inquiry as to, the data as to how many people actually participated, if it has been disaggregated according to who are Nepalese and who are foreigners. That was one of the queries that had come, but that could be also good data to abide by. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think that we have the last. Leo has asked to speak quite a long moment ago. We need to speak, and then we have the break. 10 to 15 minutes break before the next session. Okay, and we still have one more group.
Okay. Something is missing from the last group. Okay. Sorry.
So I think because it was raised, it was discussed in the group that this was important. That's why I'm asking. It's particularly two questions. One is about, because in the entire process of the organizing, it was raised that if an IC member or if the organizing member is involved with an institution that is supporting neoliberal policies, what is the stand of IC members or the IC? Or how is WSF going to respond to that? How is the process going to respond to that? Sorry? If the IC member is involved with an institution that is supporting neoliberal policies, so how is the IC or the IC members going to respond to that? Because this has been an issue that has been raised throughout the Nepal Organizing Committee process, that there are movements that have raised and disassociated with the WSF process because of that lack of clarity in the process. So that has been raised, and that is part of my experience that has come up again and again, and the participants and the civil society wants a clear response, because we didn't get any clear response in the process. And the other thing is about how do we respond to the lack of horizontality in the NOC process. I won't go long, but I have been experiencing that the structure of Secretariat and NOC started being more hierarchical, more and NOC members lost control in some express. I say that as an NOC member. And the recent thing that happened is yesterday the WhatsApp group was stopped. The WhatsApp group was made only accessible for admins to write in. So we don't have direct access to NOC members through that group. So how do we respond to that? So I'm just raising this here because this is the only first meeting after that happened. So this was raised in the group, and I think it is important that we respond. Thank you.
There is another session to discuss this, but definitely. Yeah. Leo. Wait. You have to hang another instrument.
First, with regard to Palestine, in all of the sessions, and particularly at the last one, where the plans for action have been discussed in a very broad way, very deep way, very general way, there came up the idea that we should plan for a global day of action as soon as possible. And I think that would be a very, very good statement. When I was reading the different communications in the outside, which was were very interested in the declaration of the Assembly of Struggles and Resistances, but they were asking, what is the concrete thing which we should communicate? And since Palestine is so obvious for a consensus, I would like that we don't leave here before having discussed, of course, together with the Palestinian friends, a global day of action for Palestine. With regard to Haiti, I wanted to say that reveals a structural problem. When we did in the assembly a whole process for the declaration, which you all have, on purpose, we didn't mention one single case because then we would have to make a whole list of cases. And for these reasons, for the particular draft or proposals for a declaration like the one on Haiti, I think there have been examples in the past that the International Council issued some of these, and they could be signed by everybody, and so we have a clear definition of the process and not just sneak in one thing in the other, which is not a very formal process. Thank you.
Just a question for the presidency, if we can have some time to discuss about about yesterday, the square of declaration, because was not clear the process, and some groups works on convergence all the night, and then they don't know where they can express it, where they're going to finish, and so just to valorize the works of the organization. Thank you.
I think it's an important point, the square of statement, but we will discuss it in the next session, because we have
three moments today, and so I think it will be the opportunity to do it in the next. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I think it is important. You're right, and we all agree. So I suggest that we have a small break of 10 to 15 minutes now. I think we need it. And so within 15 minutes, we begin the second session.
And thank you very much for tolerating us. We were not very good moderator. We couldn't finish on time, but thank you.
That